What's the story, Morning Glory? What is up, Buttercup? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of The Real Housewives of Dubai, Season 1, Episode 9. Now, let's get into Caroline Brooks. She meets up for lunch with her ex-husband, Zoran. We find out that they've been married for 7.5 years. This is the father of her son. And I knew that there was a purpose to this meeting. It wasn't just, hey, let's just chop it up, let's get together, just chill and talk. No, there was a purpose to this meeting. And so we find out that the purpose of the meeting is that he is going to be giving her money for her salons that she is trying to build in Dubai. And all I can say to that is, you go, girl, because if you can get money out of these men who probably put you through the ringer, who probably put you in a depression, who broke your heart, played with your emotions, toyed with your mind, turned your whole entire life upside down, and left you as a single mother, and they want to fund your salons, go ahead and get it. Get the bag, do whatever you got to do. Now, it'd be even better if she didn't have to do anything in return. I don't know anything about that. And I don't know if this is a gift to her or if this is a loan to her and she has to pay him back and what the interest rate is. I don't know, but he is helping her build these salons. And that's the most important thing because she wants to start her own business, obviously for herself and most definitely for her son. So we find out that they were married for 7.5 years and the marriage ended because the husband was just too mean, too angry. He probably had a really, really bad temper. She said that he took it out on everybody around him and this drove her away. In the meantime, I guess he's been through some type of soul searching, some type of therapy, because it appears like he's a whole lot calmer now. And she even comments to him, why couldn't you have been this way when we were still married? He's ends up bettering himself after the divorce. So she's going to get the bag from him to help build her salon. And she also mentions that her ex-boyfriend is also going to be investing in the salon. Now, she said the word investing, so he probably is going to be expecting a return. As far as her ex-husband, Zoran, like I said, I don't know if he's gifting her the money or lending her the money or if he's also an investor, but it doesn't matter. She needs the capital to get this business going. Let's move on to Nina. So Nina and Chanel and Sarah, they all meet up to go to this gold market. And while they're there, Chanel Ayan, she tells them that she wants to invite them to an Ethiopian dinner at an Ethiopian restaurant. And she said that Caroline Brooks will also be there. And the purpose of the dinner is to help mend the friendship, the broken friendship between Caroline Brooks and Sarah. Chanel says that Brooks was willing to come to this dinner because she's just returning. She says Brooks is coming to the dinner, and this is a favor to Brooks for Brooks coming to the fashion show instead of going to Stanberry's wedding. Now, when Brooks ended up going to Chanel's fashion show, I did not see that as her being a good friend to Chanel or doing some type of favor for Chanel. I saw that as Brooks avoiding Stanberry's wedding because she was ultimately trying to avoid Sarah, and so she ran and hid at Chanel's fashion show. I don't really see it as a gesture of support or a gesture of friendship. But Chanel says that she wants to return the favor to Brooks, and so she's going to be inviting her to this Ethiopian dinner. So at the Ethiopian dinner, Chanel Ayan is there, Caroline Brooks is there, Sarah is there, and Nina's there. The whole entire dinner went completely left. The whole dinner centered around, obviously, the feud between Sarah and Caroline Brooks. Caroline Brooks entered the dinner extremely defensive. I'm wondering if she also had a little bit something to drink because her behavior was the same as it was at Stanberry's engagement party. Very loud, very defensive. I mean, she came really, really strong. She came there with a mission, with a purpose, and the purpose was to have Sarah apologize to her. Sarah was not going to apologize because Sarah felt like she did nothing wrong. Now, a lot of the things that Brooks had accused Sarah of saying were slightly not correct. So she accused Sarah of saying that at the moment when at the dinner with her son, when the little boy was going to bed, Brooke said that Sarah told her, go tuck your son in. And that's not how it went. When the little boy was going to bed, Brooks asked the nanny to put the child to bed, and then Sarah was like, well, why don't you go take your son in, or why don't you go put your son to bed? And Brooks was like, oh, no, 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 no. And I don't know what that whole, oh, no, 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 was all about. Like, I don't know what that was all about. Why she did that. Why she said that. To give Brooks the benefit of the doubt, I'm gonna say that the reason why she asked the nanny to put her son to bed instead of her putting her son to bed was because she was hosting a dinner party. I guess she didn't want to be rude and just abandon her guest while she went upstairs to go put her son to bed, especially when there's a nanny to do that. So that's kind of like what, to give her the benefit of the doubt, I'm gonna have to assume that's the reason why. I don't want to assume the worst, like she just doesn't put her son to bed. She didn't want to put him to bed. That's not something that she does. That is something that is delegated to the nanny. So I'm just going to assume that that's the reason why. And Sarah kind of jumped to conclusion to assume that because she chose not to put her son to bed, that she was doing something wrong as a parent, because you don't know why she decided not to do that. There was plenty of reasons of why. Maybe that's not their routine. That's not their habit. Maybe the little boy prefers a nanny. Who knows? But Sarah definitely jumped to conclusion when she just automatically assumed that, there was something wrong with Brooks' parenting because she chose not to put her child to bed. Another thing that Brooks miscommunicated about what Sarah said was Brooks accused Sarah of telling her that she was not affectionate enough with her son. And that's not what Sarah said. Sarah had said, you need to be closer to him, which in some sense, it's like one is not better than the other. Saying you need to be closer is not any better than saying you need to be more affectionate with your son. Either way, you're judging her, you're criticizing her. So the dinner completely was destroyed. It was horrible. They started arguing with each other. There were threats thrown from both sides. They got up out of their seat. They got in each other's face. They were cussing each other out. And so Sarah ended up leaving. And then eventually Brooks ended up leaving. And Chanel was left by her lonesome to eat her huge, huge spread of Ethiopian food. So my only conclusion to that, or my only opinion about that, is that Sarah was definitely wrong for saying anything negative or critical about Brooks' parenting. This is not to say that Brooks deserves Mother of the Year. I don't know if she's a good mother or a bad mother, because we only are watching a snippet, a tiny little snippet of what goes on in her home every single day. Who knows what kind of a mother she is? But even if you see someone who could be doing something that the majority would agree is bad parenting, I don't think it's anybody's place to say that unless there's harm being done to the child. And if you're not seeing the child being harmed or abused, then you really shouldn't say anything about how someone parents their child. It's a very, very sensitive, like I said before, it's a very sensitive thing on how we parent our children, because our children and how we raise them is a reflection of ourselves. And so when someone judges you as a parent, you feel like they're judging you as a person. And also, they might be looking at your child a certain kind of way, like this child is not loved enough, not cared for enough. And you don't want your child to be looked upon like that. So it's a very sensitive thing. And Sarah, as a mother herself, you would have thought that she would know this. You just don't say anything at all. You just kind of keep it to yourself. And as long as the child is not in harm's way, whatever emotional problems the child might have because his mother is not close enough to him, that is something that the child is going to have to deal with at a later date with a therapist. But you, as a friend to Brooks, yeah, you overstepped your boundary, Sarah. Like I said, this is not to say that Brooks is the perfect mother. I don't know if she is or if she isn't. Who the hell knows? But you just can't judge other people and on their parenting skills. So after that, there is a dance hall practice. Lisa is going to be hosting a dance hall party. And so she invited the girls to take some type of dance lessons to learn how to dance like a Jamaican. So basically, the only thing to say about this is that Brooks and Sarah were able to have a conversation, and they were able to basically smooth things out. They made up. They're back on the same page again, I'm assuming, because you know how it is with these reality TV shows. These people are friends one day, enemies the next, friends again, enemies again, and you just can't keep up. So for now, Brooks and Sarah are doing good. Then they have the dance hall party. It was a lot of fun. It was what it was. They give out little crowns or awards at the end. Everybody had a good time, and I guess that's the main point. So, yeah, that is my little review of the Real Housewives of Dubai. I'm just looking over my notes to make sure that I didn't miss anything important. That's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like it, subscribe. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. But thank you for stopping by anyway, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.